Hello out there, internet and YouTube individuals. It's your bearded brother, Matt.
Hi, I'm Chris.
And that's the bearded brother, Chris. We are your bearded brothers. This is yet another sports podcast. We are back again to look over week 5 and guess at week 6. And holy God, was week 5 a flaming dumpster fire.
I don't know. I thought it went pretty well, but you know.
You would. I had no luck. You beat me, like, we split on 5 games, and you beat me in 4 of them. Hi, Loki. So, we went 4-1 this week. You went 4-1, I went 1-4. And I have no idea why.
You know, that's a good question.
Holy crap.
We'll
All right.
get there when we get there.
We'll get there when we get there. We've got some other things to go over first. So let's start with MLB news, because there is a little bit of baseball news. And that's first off, boy, did we overestimate the Dodgers. Not just the Dodgers, we overestimated the Orioles. Orioles get swept by the Rangers. Rangers are now in the ALCS and waiting their opponent. I don't know who's going to be there. It's either going to be the Astros. Well, it's either going to be the Astros or the Twins. Currently, the Astros have a 2-1 lead on the Twins. They are playing today. If the Astros win, they're going to the ALCS against the Rangers, and we'll have an all-Texas ALCS.
Yay.
Yay. On the other side of things, the Diamondbacks have an absolute chance to sweep the Dodgers today. Did not see that coming.
Nope.
And the Braves and the Phillies are tied at 1 game apiece.
Didn't expect that either, but you know. Yeah.
Also, puck drop was last night. The official regular season of hockey is underway. Eventually, I will start doing some hockey top 10s and some hockey talk. But being that we are precisely 1 day into the season, that's not going to happen today.
What?
Probably won't even happen next week. We're gonna give it a month or so before, get some games under the belt before I really get a feel of how the season's gonna be.
No way. Shock face.
Try to figure out who's gonna be good and who's gonna be bad this year, and where injuries are gonna come, and how everything is gonna fit out. And we're gonna keep our eyes on Bedard. But it also looks like this year we're going to have to watch Adam Fantilli and Logan Cooley as well. Will be some people that'll probably be playing, and I guess would be in contention for the Calder Trophy. So we'll have to see how all of that plays out. I'll try to keep my eyes on things, and we'll see how it goes this season. All right. Now we get to talk NFL, but before we go to the games, we should probably talk some injuries.
Sadly, yes.
Sadly, yes. So, where do we want to start? Let's start with our guy. Justin Jefferson has a pretty major hamstring injury. He suffered it at the very end of the Chiefs game. He was trying to plant and take a route and do a quick dig, and hyperextended the back part of his leg, and you could see right where he knew he had pulled it, because he pulled up short immediately, and he knew. He tried to get a second and a third opinion away from the team doctor, but apparently everything came back the same way, and the Vikings are going to put him on IR, which means he's going to miss at least 4 games, which means he won't be able to come back until like week 11. Or something like that, I believe, is what I've heard. Week 11? Yeah, because he has to miss 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yep. So he will not be eligible to return until week 11.
So, depending on how this season's going at this point, we'll see how this week looks, but there's now a real chance of the Vikings just deciding to blow it up for the season. We'll see.
And this is something I would think they would do at this point. Just sell off what you can that's saleable. Obviously, you're not going to get rid of Jefferson, although that's been floated, but it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It'd be the dumbest thing, yeah.
Cousins
You never get rid of
maybe,
your
but
best thing in their prime. Like that's the dumbest. Yeah.
yeah, no, Cousins maybe, but the problem with Cousins is he has a no trade clause, and I can't see him waiving that with kids
Oh
here and
yeah.
everything
Yeah.
else.
That's true.
Hunter is probably the most likely piece to move right now. I would say if there's a piece that's going to move, it's probably going to be Danielle Hunter. Um, you might get somebody interested in Dirty Harry, uh, but again, that would be they'd know it was a rental, so I don't know what kind of value he would actually have.
Right.
And you don't really have value anywhere else that anybody else has any interest in outside of Hawk, and I don't considering the contract you just signed into. I don't think they have any interest in moving him.
No.
So in reality, one of the only pieces that you're going to be able to move is Hunter. You might be able to move Smith, but he really doesn't want to go anywhere, and I can guarantee the Vikings really don't want him to move anywhere. But
Yeah.
if they could get good value for him, that might be a potential. And I don't think they're going to trade Addison at this juncture.
No, they just got him.
Yeah.
It's really
Again,
awesome.
he'd probably be worth something on the market, but I don't think there's any interest from the Viking side of that. The most likely piece to move is Hunter. They'd probably like to trade Cousins, but they probably can't.
Not unless he wants to go, and I don't know if he wants to go anywhere.
I don't think he wants to go.
It sounds like, from what I've heard, it doesn't sound like he wants to go anywhere.
Yeah. They could maybe talk him
It sounds
into
like it sounds like it's more than anything that he's trying to play for a contract still.
Yeah.
Which
I don't think that's going to happen.
you're not showing great success on that front, my guy.
And like I was going to say, I firmly feel like they could maybe talk him into it for the good of the team and say that maybe we'll look at bringing you back again next season on a contract if you get traded now, but they're never going to guarantee him anything.
No. I don't think that would ever work anyways.
No, I don't. And I mean, if they straight out came out and told him, look, we're not re-signing you at the end of this season. If you want to go play for your contract and you want to look good somewhere else, we'd be more than open to that. Then I think maybe you get, but then again, you still have to have a market for him, and I don't know that there is much of a market for him currently.
There's only a couple teams that I could see even making an attempt, and even then, I don't think, like the Jets, for example, they're not going to give up.
No, they're not
That's the
going
one
to give
thing.
up.
They're not going to give up a first-round pick, and that's the problem. Is that I think that's what they would have to get for Kirk is a first-round pick for that contract.
They're not going to, and obviously he's not going back to Washington. Obviously, I mean, unless there's a major injury to a starter somewhere and they don't feel like they have a good backup, there's just not gonna there's not a market for him currently.
There's very small market.
Yeah, I don't even think the Cardinals want him.
They could, but I don't think they would.
No, I don't think so. They have to first, so they could afford to give one up.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're going to. They're certainly not going to give up
No.
theirs. They might give up Houston's, because Houston looks like they're rounding into form, which is making that pick less valuable. So I don't think they'd have a problem dropping Houston's first at him. But I just don't think they want him.
Yeah, the problem is that here's the thing: is as much as we rat on Kirk Cousins, the problem is you got to remember he's still better. He's 100% better than Josh Dobbs. Like he would be a better upgrade. He just would be.
He would be 100%. But I don't.
And there's a lot of people you can look at that for where I'm starting to think about it and go, Giants. Like, I hate to say it, but I bet you Kirk Cousins would do better in that offense over Danny Dimes.
But they just spend a lot of money on.
I know,
Jones.
but you see what I was saying is that like
another
I could
team
see
that's
somebody trying to do
interesting.
like a Band-Aid fix that might be closer. I'm not saying New York specifically, but
there is a team that I'm thinking of like that
There's
because
a
they
couple
still
that I
have
can
a
think of like that.
shot at their within their division. Tennessee.
Yeah. Tennessee could do it. Heck, I actually would say maybe the Colts should consider the option just for the fact of you don't want to continue hurting Richardson, let him get fucking healthy.
I agree.
And he's better than Gardner Minshew. So
there's also the Raiders option because, I mean,
yeah, Jimmy G just ain't it, my guy.
Yeah, they just ain't Jimmy G. The Patriots would be an interesting option.
Oh, Patriots would be not right now at this point, anyways.
I think the weirdest dark horse fun team for that would be the Denver Broncos. I
I
don't
thought
think.
about it, but they just
Yeah,
never would pull that trigger just because of how much they're paying Russ.
exactly. That's the problem. Is they'd have to do something with Russ at that point.
I hate to say it, but at this point, Steelers need some help too. So
Yeah, but I don't think that's Pickett's fault. If I'm looking at it more and more, I think it's Matt Canada's fault.
there's a lot of people's problems faults there. Actually, I don't think it's just one or two people. There's a lot of people's faults there.
Matt Canada definitely has to be near the top of that list, though, because I'm not sure he actually knows how to call a passing play. It's like they're missing from his playbook or something.
He doesn't need passing plays, my guy. It's fine.
Well, apparently he does, because all he ever does is call dives.
Well, that's all he needs. Don't you understand?
Yeah, if he wants to lose.
Well, no one said anything about winning. Jeez.
Oh. All right, we also do have to talk about that because we did bring up the Colts. Unfortunately, Anthony Richardson suffered a grade 3 AC joint sprain, and he is likely to be out for at least 4 weeks. I believe they put him on the
minimum.
IR. He is out. Minshew will get the starts currently
For the next 4 weeks
for
minimum.
at least the next 4 weeks. I feel bad for Richardson because when we've seen him,
He's
it's
looked
been
good.
amazing.
Yeah, it's looked good.
He's looked really good, and then he'll get hurt and not be able to play.
Like I was saying to our dad when I first talked about this, I was like, man, this feels too much like another Andrew Luck type story where really good player gets beat up because they have a shit O line.
RG3.
Yeah, another RG, exactly, another type of RG3, Andrew Luck, another one of those superstar talents who gets drafted by a bad team who can't protect him and they just get ruined.
Mm-hmm. 2 more injuries, both running backs. James Conner is going to be out for a while. He hurt his knee last week, so he is out for several weeks now. And Devon Achane. Achane.
I think it's Achon.
Devon Achane out at least 4 weeks. The Dolphins put him on IR today. I know because
I don't know.
I've heard it said Achane. I've also heard it said Achon. But
Achan. I think it's Achan.
Achan.
I think it's Achan.
Achan. So Devon Achan out at least 4 weeks with a knee injury, cutting short kind of a really good rookie season for the kid.
Oh god, it was looking really good.
He was looking amazing out there for the Dolphins. So Raheem Mostert looks like he's going to get some increased reps now because of that.
Not that Mostert is bad by any means.
No, certainly not. But the
in
dual
comparison,
punch
like,
there that they had was looking
makes
really
sense
good.
why they ended up not getting cooked because they really
Oh yeah,
didn't
they
need him probably
apparently
after
thought
seeing
they
what
had,
they had.
yeah, Achan. They just like
Yeah,
Achan.
that guy.
Yeah, that dude.
That guy's so good.
Monster beast. I know because I picked him up in fantasy, and now he's not going to be playing. Also, currently in concussion protocol is Tank Dell, and we still do not have word on Jamal Adams as to whether or not he's out of concussion protocol and will play this week. So those are the big, kind of the injury news around the NFL. There's been a couple of trades. The Falcons threw a 6th to the Rams for Van Jefferson and a 7th.
Which not terrible, just weird.
Randy Gregory was going to be cut, and then in swooped, I don't even remember who. The Niners.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah,
Niners
nice.
swooped in and picked him up for like a 6th.
Which was weird. Why would you not just? Okay,
I didn't get it either. Maybe because of waiver order.
maybe
They were worried
That's
that somebody
possible.
else might try to grab him.
that's possible. I guess.
That's possible. If you didn't think you could get him before somebody else did.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so Randy Gregory is now on the 49ers. The Jets are looking at trading Mecole Hardman. He's been inactive a couple of games now. We already mentioned J.C. Jackson back to the Patriots due to Gonzalez being lost for the season. Did anybody else get lost for the season? No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't
not
think we
yet.
had any major season endings. I will say that the Chiefs had a heart attack playing the Vikings as Travis Kelce went out early and back up to the locker room and it turned out he just rolled his ankle, he taped the crap out of it, and came back out and played.
Yeah.
It's some people are just built different. And then he went on to score a touchdown, so, you know.
What are you going to do?
Travis fucking Kelce. Nothing.
He does what he wants.
You're going to sit on the ground and cry. All right. We ready to review Week 5?
Do we gotta?
I think we gotta. That's one of the reasons we're here. They don't pay us for it.
Is it? Yeah, we don't get paid shit to do this. What the fuck are we doing this for? Nah.
Because we enjoy football.
Sometimes.
Well, I think the Commanders, they've officially cemented their spot as the weakest team in the East.
Probably.
Pretty close to it, although the Giants are strong contenders for that as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we match them up, it might be a comparable shit show.
I think it would be a horrible game to watch. Although I think the Commanders would probably win that, but that's something we're going to have to get to when they eventually play. Because the Thursday night game, Bears 40, Commanders 20.
Yeah, the Bears aren't that good. But man, you made them look that good.
The funny thing about it is, one of the Commanders' wins, because they've got 2 wins, was against Denver, who the Bears lost to.
Yeah,
I'm confused.
Rock, paper, scissors. It's one of those weird situations.
Yeah. We had both picked the Commanders to win that game, thinking that they were going to have a bounce back, and we were both woefully incorrect. We got burned horribly on that.
I wish I was right.
Huh?
I wish I was right on that one.
I kind of wish I was too, but, Justin Fields, 15 of 29, 282 yards, 4 touchdowns. DJ Moore.
No, he looked good, yeah.
DJ Moore, 8 receptions, 230 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Look, DJ Moore exists.
Oh my god, I can throw the ball to Moore?
Wait,
yes,
we can
give more and more.
Wait, we can throw the ball?
Give more to Moore.
Yes.
Like
Khalil Herbert, 10 carries, 76 yards. Sam Howell, 37 of 51, 388 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick.
He actually didn't play that bad, to be honest.
No, he didn't, but you know what really stunk for them? He was also their top rusher.
Yeah.
4 carries, 19 yards. And their top receiver was Logan Thomas, 9 catches, 77 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, Scary Terry and Robinson kind of were just invisible that game almost.
Robinson, 6 carries, 10 yards.
Yeah.
4 catches, 33 yards. Terry McLaurin, 4 catches, 49 yards.
Not bad, but just not
No, that's definitely
what you expect from them.
No, that's definitely not the numbers you expect from Scary Terry and them.
No.
So that was very weird. Moving along. Technically, it was called Jacksonville at Buffalo, but it was played internationally in London, which is usually Jacksonville's home turf. And
it stays that way.
It sure looked that way because the Bills came out and looked like they had just traveled to London that same day and were jet-lagged. I don't think that's what happened, but they sure played like it.
That's what it looked like it, yeah.
They sure played like it. We both picked Buffalo to beat Jacksonville. Jacksonville came out and made a statement. They beat Buffalo 25-20. And this is after Buffalo hung almost 50 points on the Dolphins. They apparently only packed enough offense for that game.
Apparently.
Trevor Lawrence, 25 of 37, 315 yards and a touchdown. Etienne, oh my God, a game that Etienne looked like a good running back. 26 carries, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns. And welcome back Calvin Ridley, 7 catches, 122 yards. Well done. You gotta know that I turned this game off when there was about 2:56 and Etienne had that 35-yard run. And then Josh Allen and the Bills would take 4 plays and score to make it 25-20, and then just would not be able to complete the comeback. So Josh Allen, 27 of 40, 359 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Also their top runner with 14 yards and a touchdown. And Diggs, 8 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown. Yeah. It was not a good day for the Bills. They couldn't get a running game going. And they had 2 guys over 100 yards catching. Both Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs were over 100 yards. Both had a touchdown. But they couldn't get anything else going. And it doesn't help that they had 2 fumbles on their side, one from Diggs, one from Hardy, and that Allen threw a pick.
Right.
So, whatever they had last week, they lost this week.
Probably use it all up punching Bills in the face. Or Dolphins in the face, sorry.
But we both picked the Bills. We were both wrong. Moving along, the first of my mini losses this week. Titans at Colts. I picked the Titans. You picked the Colts. You beat me to the tune of 23-16. Apparently, the Titans cannot play on odd-numbered weeks.
Yeah, I don't get that. Richardson played well, and then,
Got hurt.
well, unfortunately got hurt. But Minshew then continued to play well enough to, finish out the game.
Tannehill, 23 of 34, 264, and a pick. Derrick Henry, only 13 carries for 43 yards. Hopkins. Hey, look, we had a DeAndre Hopkins sighting. 8 catches for 140 yards. Didn't
Oh my
help.
god, you can throw him the ball?
Oh my god, he exists?
Jesus.
Minshew, 11 of 14, 155. Zach Moss, 23 for 165 and 2 touchdowns. Oh, and this is a game with Taylor back. We should also mention...
Didn't throw him much in rotation, though.
They didn't, because he's just getting back, so I think they're knocking the rust off of him.
Yeah.
But let's also mention that he did get his deal. He got a 3-year deal.
So we know he's going to start getting thrown back into rotation soon.
Yes.
It's just taking a little longer.
And Josh Downs, 6 receptions, 97 yards. Yeah, not much to talk about on the Tennessee side because nobody was very good.
No.
On the other side, Anthony Richardson was 9 of 12 for 98 yards. And he had 2 runs for 5 yards until somebody fell on him. I thought the way that he fell on that side when they came down on this shoulder over here, I thought, because it's his right shoulder, he throws right. And he came down on his right side and he sprained the AC joint right here in your shoulder. Yeah. And I thought for sure that maybe he'd broken a collarbone the way he came down. Yeah. And he did not. It was just a sprain, which is way less traumatic than a collarbone break. But yeah, Jonathan Taylor, only 6 carries for 18 yards. Zach Moss, 2 receptions for 30. Jonathan Taylor, 1 for 16. So, overall, Taylor obviously was on a pitch count and they didn't put him in a whole lot, especially not when Zach Moss is running that way. Why would you? So, the Colts win, beat the Titans. I lose, quite obviously. And now we're going to move on to the next game I got wrong. Saints at Patriots. I thought Bill would have a bounce-back week and look good and be ready for the Saints, and he was not, as the Saints ran the Patriots out of the building to the tune of 34-0. They blanked them outright. You picked the Saints, I picked the Patriots, you beat me again. Ugly game.
Yeah, it was very ugly.
It started bad. The scoring started bad with Matthew getting a 27-yard interception return, and it didn't get any better.
No.
Derek Carr, 18 of 26 at 183 and 2 touchdowns. Kamara, 22 carries for 80 yards and a touchdown. And Michael Thomas, 4 catches, 65 yards. Mac Jones, 12 of 22 for 110 and 2 picks. Stevenson, 8 carries, 24 yards. Kendrick Bourne, 2 catches, 43 yards. I think I heard, and I don't know what you're going to think of this, but I think I heard the best statement about the Patriots right now. First, they don't have a run game.
Somehow.
They don't have a run game.
Somehow.
And
they should. Stevenson was great last year. What the fuck happened?
they have a collection of players that individually should be good, but nobody's got an established identity.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. He was good. He was literally putting up good last year. What happened? What did you ruin? Like,
Exactly. I think they ruined his confidence bringing in Elliott, as we both predicted was going to fucking happen.
and I don't know. I hope that wasn't what it was, but if it was, that's so fucking retarded.
But, you know, like...
And Elliott's Garbo.
And then you look at their receivers, and again, they have a collection of guys that can catch the ball that are good at it, but they don't have an identity with that, and none of them has stepped up to be the prime receiver. Juju has it, nobody has.
Gotcha.
So with nobody knowing who the guy is, they're just lost in the sauce. And Bill is certainly not helping that issue in any way, shape, or form. Neither Bill is. Belichick or O'Brien. Double B and B.O.B. just don't know what they're doing.
What you gonna do?
All the B's in that team is an F.
At the moment, yeah.
So, yeah, I wanted to throw that out there because I felt like it was an important thing for you to hear. Just due to the fact of how much you've, like, blasted Belichick recently, I felt like you would get some sort of satisfaction out of that.
I mean, it is what it is. I've been reading the room and I've been seeing what's going on.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good at that, I will say. Moving down the list, Ravens at Steelers. We both picked the Ravens. We were both wrong, but not by a whole lot. Steelers won because of a long pass from Pickett to Pickens, and our understanding is that was an audible by Pickett. That was not the play Matt Canada called.
God, no.
Like, I think...
Pickett probably saw the defense and went, fuck this play call.
And I think, honestly, Pickett is beginning to just be like, you know what? Whatever he calls, I'm just going to audible out of because he's a piece of shit. I'm just
gonna think of what's the best thing I can audible out of in this formation.
Whatever he calls, I'm going to do the opposite.
Going to run? Fuck you, I'm passing the ball.
So, I will also say, Pro Football Focus, before I read off his stat line, Pro Football Focus said that Lamar Jackson actually had the best passing game of his career yesterday, if you were to take away the 7 drops by his receivers. The fucking Ravens
they couldn't
receivers,
catch the fucking balls, dude.
Man, they couldn't catch shit.
And most of the time, they were like right where they had to be.
They
right?
couldn't
like,
catch
it wasn't
cold
even...
in the fucking Arctic.
And it wasn't even like bad passes or anything either.
No,
like, they were right where they needed to be.
There were a couple of bad passes.
There was a couple, but
overall, like, Zay Jones just let one go right through his hands like he had fucking slippery juice on him or something. Somebody give the Ravens a bottle of fucking glue. They
Stop eating that fucking greasy-ass chicken before you go to work.
They couldn't hang on to shit. So, Jackson, 22 of 38, 236, no touchdowns. Edwards, 12 carries, 48 yards. Zay Flowers, 5 catches for 73 yards.
Could have been more.
I'll get to that, how many targets they had each. Pickett, 18 of 32, 224 and a touchdown. Warren was the top rusher, 9 carries for 40 yards. And Pickens, 6 catches, 130 and a touchdown. Just so we all understand this. Lamar Jackson also ran 6 times for 45 yards. Zay Flowers, 5 catches on 11 targets. Mark Andrews, 10 targets, 6 catches for 65 yards. Aguilar, 5 targets, 4 catches. Holy crap. Somebody who caught most of the things.
Somebody who caught most of them, yeah.
64 yards. Odell Beckham Jr., 4 targets, 2 catches.
Half, okay, 50%, not great.
Still Justice not great. Hill, running back, 4 targets, 4 catches, 13 yards.
Oh my god, he got all. You should only throw to him from now on.
Rashad Bateman, 3 targets, 1 catch.
Never throw to him again.
And then it doesn't help that you had 4 fumbles and lost 2 of them.
That doesn't help at all, no.
Jackson and Hill both lost a fumble.
Oof.
and then there was at least a couple where somebody would fumble the ball and it would wind up in the defense's hands.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was an ugly, ugly, ugly game for the receivers. Yeah, Najee Harris, 14 carries, 37 yards. Pickens had a carry for 16 yards. Jalen Warren also caught 3 passes for 39 yards. Allen Robinson caught 5 passes for 29 yards. Yeah, they don't throw the ball a whole lot in Matt Canada's offense, but I think that's going to start changing. I feel like Pickett is just going to start being like, yeah, fuck whatever he says. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Probably.
I would expect that Matt Canada might be on the chopping block, along with Vance Joseph fairly quickly here.
We'll see.
All right. Texans at Falcons, and this was a really good game. I thought the Texans had this one won, and then the Falcons marched down the field and won the game, and I was like, fuck. The Texans did lose. We both picked the Texans. We were both wrong. But again, Texans 19, Falcons 21. It was a really good back and forth game. And Desmond Ridder did not take a sack.
Nope.
And he looked really good for a change. If he could look this good all the time, I think the Falcons would be favorites to win the division. Unfortunately, he doesn't look this good all the time. And until he does, who knows who's going to win this division. Stroud, though.
They could do it.
Stroud had a down game by his standards. 20 of 35 for only 249 yards and a touchdown.
How dare he?
How dare he? Damon Pierce, 20 carries, 66 yards. Schultz, 7 catches, 65 yards and a touchdown. It also doesn't help that Stroud could not get a big rapport going with either Nico Collins or Tank Dell.
Yeah. I know. My roster felt it.
So did mine.
I had both of them starting. I didn't think about it until after it was too late. And I was like, oh, God, this is bad. Because if they... Oh, no.
I still won my game, but...
I did too somehow, but barely.
I did too. But I had way more points on the shelf than I did. It was bad.
I did too.
I only won because the dude didn't bother to put out some... He didn't pull people that weren't starting.
Oh, gotcha. See, mine actually had a couple good players that went off, and then he had 2 players that should have went off that didn't.
So
I had Adam Thielen on my bench instead of, putting in Tank Dell, so that was great.
Yeah, if I look at my last week's matchup, so he still had Gibbs in, who didn't play.
Mm-hmm.
And he did have Jefferson playing, but we know that he got held to almost nothing and then went on the IR. Njoku didn't play. St. Brown didn't play. He had the Philly defense, which did really well. Cooper Kupp that did well. Bryce Hall, whichever one is the running back. Bryce Hall, who did amazing. And but sadly for him, Dak Prescott was his quarterback.
That's also how I won too, because Dak was also my opponent's quarterback.
Yeah, I got McCaffrey.
He should have won.
McCaffrey got me points. Zach Wilson wasn't horrible, but I would have gotten better points out of Lawrence. Achon did really well, but now he's on the IR. He got me 21 points. Dell only got me 8 points. Wilson only got me 8 points. Laporta got me 19 points. Ingram only got me 6 points. The San Francisco defense got me a lot of points for obliterating Dak. We'll get to that game. And Gano got me some good points. But I would have had better points if I had started Lawrence and Pickens and Addison. I am going to start Addison this week. Because no JJ. So I think he's going to get a higher volume of catches.
Probably that and TJ.
Yeah. So yeah, Addison.
Probably KJ. KJ will probably get targeted more too.
KJ too, but definitely Addison. I think we'll see a large volume of stuff going his direction. But regardless of that, Ridder, 28 of 37, 329 and a touchdown. Bijan Robinson, 14 carries, 46 yards. Kyle Pitts, 7 catches, 87 yards. I mean, this was a close game until the very end. Drake London even threw a pass for 22 yards. Algiers got 17 carries for 40 yards finally. Still can't get over 3 yards a carry, though. He's still at like 2.4. I don't know what the hell happened to him. Ritter ran the ball 4 times, got 10 yards out of it, and a touchdown. Bijan Robinson caught a touchdown off his butt. Only had 2 catches for 12 yards, but one of them was the butt catch.
The butt catch.
Drake London, 6 catches for 78. Jonnu Smith, 6 for 67. This team is looking like they've got something going. So we were surprised they traded for Van Jefferson. But the more we look at it, I feel like they have something cooking here. And they wanted to bring in another wide receiver for Ritter to throw to. And Jefferson actually has some talent. So he makes a good veteran complementary piece to London. So.
Yeah.
Sadly, we did both get that wrong, though. But it was a very close game. It was a very good game.
Yep.
Very fun to watch. Moving on down the list, the one we both got right, Lions-Panthers. Lions 42, Panthers 24.
Yeah.
The
Panthers tried.
The Panthers tried. Bryce Young, 25 of 41, 247, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks.
They tried.
Chuba Hubbard, 9 carries, 35 yards. Adam Thielen, 11 catches, 107 yards, and a touchdown. Proving he's still got a Thielen.
Sometimes.
Goff, 20 of 28, 236, 3 touchdowns. Montgomery, 19 carries, 109 yards, and a touchdown. Welcome back, Reynolds. Well, actually, welcome to the fold, Reynolds. Josh Reynolds, 4 catches, 76 yards, and a touchdown. Miles Sanders also had 7 carries for 32 yards. Laviska Shenault, 5 carries for 27 yards. The problem is Miles Sanders, once again, cannot hold on to a football.
I'm glad I traded him.
I'm glad you traded him, too. It's probably the best move you've made this season.
Probably.
Jonathan Mingo, 5 catches for 48. Chark, 3 for 42 and a touchdown. He did try to spread the ball out a bit, but overall, Bryce Young definitely is... While he's taking some steps forward, he just got massacred in this game. They only sacked him once, but they hit him 6 times. Aiden Hutchinson is the only guy to sack him. But of course it would be Aiden Hutchinson. Like we mentioned, Craig Reynolds also got some work. 7 carries, 52 yards, and a touchdown. Goff ran one in with the tush push, I believe.
Yep.
And Sam Laporta, 3 for 47 and 2 touchdowns. Good job, Sam Laporta. And that razzle-dazzle play, they got to get him that one of those touchdowns where they pitched it back and then they threw it over the top to him. I don't know if you got to see that or not.
I don't remember. I think so. I think I saw that one.
Because then the 49ers replicated it on one of George Kittle's 3 touchdown catches. By the way, guess how many the receptions George Kittle had?
3?
3. All 3 of them were touchdowns.
What a surprise.
Oh, anyway. Khalif Raymond, 3 for 45. Marvin Jones, 2 for 22. Jameson Williams, 2 for 2. Only got 3 targets. They're going to work him back in slowly. Obviously, Amon-Ra St. Brown did not play this game, and yet the Lions still hung 42 on the moribund Panthers. Moving on down the list, another one we both picked, Giants at Dolphins. We both picked the Dolphins. We were both right, 31-16. Jones, 14 of 20 for 119 yards. Gray, 12 carries, 25 yards. Waller, 8 receptions, 86 yards. Tyrod Taylor also came in, 9 for 12 for 86 yards. Jones was sacked 6 times. He also took off 4 times for 24 yards. Burita got 9 carries for 21 yards. The only other person to get to get anywhere more than 2 catches was Wan'Dale Robinson, who caught 5 for 18. Darius Slayton only caught 2, Campbell caught 2, and Hodgins caught 2. This team looks lost in the sauce. Whatever they had at the start of the in the preseason, they don't have. Ever since that 40-0 drubbing to Dallas, they just haven't been able to find themselves. And I don't know they're going to find themselves this season. I don't know what happened to the team from last season, but they don't have it. And it's quite obvious that they're missing Barkley. Very obvious. The Dolphins. Tua, obviously, 22 of 30, 308 yards, 2 touchdowns, but also 2 interceptions.
You can have 2 interceptions when you put up that many points.
Only one sack. Achon, 11 carries, 151 yards, and a touchdown. Mostert, 10 carries, 65 yards, and a touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 8 catches, 181 yards, and a touchdown. Cedric Wilson Jr., 4 for 52. Jalen Waddle, 5 for 35 and a touchdown. Oh, yeah, and we should mention the Dolphins, now they traded for and received Chase Claypool from the Bears for essentially what amounts to nothing. And he'll probably do very well in Miami as a slot guy because, let's be honest, he's fast. That appears to be the speed. Speed kills, and the Dolphins are just the sultans of speed right now.
They like speed.
They do, but we should not say it like that.
No, they like speed. It's Miami. They like speed.
Oh, Lord. All right. Moving on down the list. We have the Bengals at the Cardinals. Another one where I tried to call the upset because I wasn't sure of the Bengals. You did call the Bengals. You were correct. I was wrong. You were correct to the tune of 34-20. And Joe Burrow suddenly remembered that he was Joe Burrow. And he remembered...
I know, it's great.
Apparently after remembering and hearing from Jamar Chase, he remembered Jamar Chase existed. Because apparently, if you listen to Jamar Chase, as he said, and I quote, "I'm always fucking open."
Always fucking open. Yeah, I remember that. I'm always fucking open.
That was pretty good. Burrow, 36 of 46, 317, 3 touchdowns and an interception. Mixon, 25 carries, 81 yards. Chase sets a Bengals record with 15 receptions for 192 yards and 3 touchdowns.
He's always fucking open.
No T. Higgins, no problem. Dobbs, 15 of 32, 166, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Rondale Moore, 3 carries for 50 yards. And Marquise Brown, 4 catches, 61 yards, and a touchdown. Mm-hmm. I feel like the Bengals are finally figuring out and remembering they're the fucking Bengals.
Maybe. This is one game. We have to see if that they do this another game, and then maybe I'll be like, yeah, okay, we're finally back to the Bengals we know. This might be just like a bounce back of, oh, the nostalgia, the reminiscence of what the Bengals can be.
Very true. All right. Eagles at Rams. We both picked the upset for the Rams to beat the Eagles and end the unbeaten streak, and we were both wrong. Eagles win 23-14. Thank you to Jalen Hurts, who basically carried the team this week.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, because like for a while there, it looked pretty close, actually.
It did. Cooper Kupp is back. Jalen Hurts, though, 25 of 38 for 303 yards and a touchdown and a pick. 15 carries, 72 yards, leading all their rushers, and a touchdown. A.J. Brown doing A.J. Brown things, 6 catches, 127 yards. On the other side of things, Stafford, 21 of 37, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns. Williams, 13 carries, 53 yards. Kupp, 8 receptions, 118 yards. And Puka Nacua, 7 catches for 71 yards. The most targeted receivers, Kupp with 12, Nacua with 11, Atwell with 5.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, sounds about right. Unfortunately, Stafford was sacked 4 times by that ferocious defense. Yeah. It was a closer game than you would think, but the Eagles still managed to pull it out. They're still finding ways to win. I don't know how, but they're doing it.
Finding ways. Like I told you, there's just a certain amount of resilience, respect in the resilience.
I'm slowly beginning to understand what you mean by that. Chiefs at Vikings. We both picked the Chiefs to win, and they did, but it was only 27-20.
Like there was a chance there for
And right at the end of the game, there was a chance, and then Kirk took a sack. Didn't
Like
even
Kirk
throw the
does.
ball.
Nope, didn't even throw the ball.
Didn't even throw the ball.
It was funny because I kept saying it as I saw the
Throw
play
it!
happen.
Throw it! Throw
Yeah,
it!
I kept going. Throw the ball. Throw the ball. You gotta throw the ball. You gotta. Oh, all right.
And right after it happened, I texted you and I said, I feel like that's the way this game should end. And of course, what happened on the first play of the game? We fumbled the fucking football. Apparently, we still can't hang on to the football.
I don't know. Do they just give us a buttered up ball at the beginning of the game every time?
I don't
Because,
know
like,
what the hell is going on.
It's only the first half we have this problem.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It didn't look good. I was highly
Did they grease
disappointed.
up the balls
And then there
now?
was a
Like-
couple of times where, holy crap, like we were rushing. We would have Pat dead to rights. Had him dead to rights for a sack, and he just chunked up the ball. Prayer rainbow lands perfectly in his receiver's hands. You're just like,
Oh yeah.
how
There's
the
a couple
fuck?
times I saw that, and I'm just like, are you serious?
I saw that. I was like, only Mahomes makes that throw. Nobody else in their right mind. First, nobody else in their right mind attempts that throw. And second, if they do, nobody else makes that throw.
Let alone makes it look that good.
Yeah. Mahomes, 31 of 41, 281 yards, 2 touchdowns. Pacheco, 16 carries, 55 yards, and a touchdown. Kelsey, 10 receptions, 67 yards, and a touchdown. Rashee Rice, 4 catches. Kadarius Toney has apparently completely overcome his first week problems and caught 5 of 6 balls. Justin Watson with 2 catches. Like, he spread the ball out to just about everybody. Yeah, it was really, really, like, the only guy that got double digits in targets and receptions was Kelsey. And he was out for a chunk of the game.
Fair.
On the other side, Cousins, 29 of 47, 284, 2 touchdowns, sacked 3 times. Madison, 8 carries for 26 yards. Ty Chandler, 1 carry for 15. Akers, 5 for 15. Brandon Powell, 1 for 9. Cousins, 3 for 5. Jordan Addison, 6 catches, 64 yards, and a touchdown. Hawkinson, 5 catches, 51 yards. Osborne, 5 for 49. Powell, 4 for 43. Justin Jefferson, 3 for 28. He was only targeted 6 times. So KC came in with a game plan. Take away Jefferson. And it worked. Because he didn't go out until the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like, 4th quarter. They held him to, like, nothing. So that was not a fun game for us.
Which we knew was going to happen, which is why we brought in frickin' Addison and TJ in the first place to be as the life rafts when that happens, and yet, why the fuck were they not used?
They were. Addison had the most receiving yards out of anybody on the team.
I'm just saying, like, it feels like they weren't used enough. Like, both
you're
TJ
right,
and Addison,
you're right.
like,
but I mean,
should have gotten more targets or more looks.
we couldn't get a run
just...
game going either, and we are a run and play action style offense under O'Connell. And
dude, we are not a run game team at all.
No,
Madison just can't fucking do it. Man, I don't know.
We're gonna have to look at. Oh, we gotta
start giving the ball more to Ty Chandler. I don't know what else to tell you. Like
Chandler or maybe Akers.
Yeah, or Akers. I mean, that's probably why they brought Akers in the first place. I don't know, because like Madison just clearly is not.
All right.
Not doing it.
Let's talk Jets at Broncos. The one game I beat you at this week. I picked the Jets to beat the Broncos. I was correct. The Jets did beat the Broncos by 10, 31-21, but it wasn't because Wilson had an amazing game or anything. He went 19 of 26 for 199 and an interception. Breece Hall, though, 22, 177 and a touchdown. And that touchdown run was like 70-something yards. Tyler Conklin, 4 catches, 67 yards. Russell Wilson, 20 of 31, 196 and 2 touchdowns. That's actually not bad. McLaughlin, 9 carries, 68 yards. Sam J. Perrine, 4 catches, 73 yards. I think the biggest problem that the Broncos have is their defense. Their defense can't stop a Colt in the desert. They also were having trouble getting anybody to run the ball. Jerry Jeudy, six catches for 50 yards. Troutman, 4 for 26. Marvin Mims, the guy who actually got them in last week, that big long catch. 1 catch. Only 1 target. I don't know what the hell is going on, man.
Yeah.
They lost big time. Yeah. They lost to their former head coach. Like, if you look at all the coordinators and former head coaches that they lost to this season, it's a pretty extensive list. They even lost to their former ball boy.
There we go. Yeah, that was weird.
Lost to their former fucking ball boy. All right. Cowboys at Niners. This game got ugly in a hurry. Final score, Niners 42, Cowboys 10. We both picked the Niners, and we were both obviously correct. Dak Prescott, 14 of 24, 153, a touchdown and 3 picks. Tony Pollard, 8 carries, 29 yards. CeeDee Lamb, 4 catches, 49 yards. Yeah. Brock Purdy, 17 of 24, 252, and 4 touchdowns. Mason, 10 carries, 69 yards, and a touchdown. Kittle, 3 catches, 67 yards, 3 touchdowns. Sam Darnold also threw a pass. It was complete for a yard.
Woo!
Christian McCaffrey, 19 carries, 51 yards, and a touchdown. Also, he had 2 catches for 27 yards. Deebo Samuel, 5 carries, 30 yards. Tyrion Davis-Price, 6 for 21. Ayuk, 4 catches, 58 yards. Deebo Samuel, 3 for 55. Juszczyk, 4 catches, 26 yards, and a touchdown. Yeah, this game was ugly the entire game. They sacked Dak 4 times and hit him 9 and picked him off 3.
Mm-hmm.
It did not go well for the Cowboys in this game.
Did not.
The 49ers absolutely pounded them into the dirt. We both picked that to happen, and we were both obviously quite correct. Now let's talk about the last game I lost. Packers at Raiders. I picked the Packers. You picked the Raiders. You would be correct to the tune of 17-13, good sir.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Love looked like ass.
He did.
16 of 30, 182, 3 picks. That was bad.
Mm-hmm. It was really bad.
That was an ugly, ugly, ugly ass game by Love.
Oh, yeah. That was bad.
That was bad. Dillon, 20 carries, 76 yards, and a touchdown. Christian Watson, 3 catches, 91 yards. Garoppolo, 22 of 31, 208, a touchdown and a pick. Jacobs, 20 carries, 69 yards, and a touchdown. Jacoby Myers, 7 for 75, and a touchdown. Let's talk a little bit about the end of that game. Because McDaniels tried to give the game away on a short 4th and 1, and rather than going for it and maybe trying to run some more clock, he attempts to kick the field goal, and it goes off the upright. They are up at this point, by the way, 17 to whatever it was.
Bird on my microphone.
17-13, yeah. They were up 17-13 at that point.
Bird on the microphone.
Bird on the microphone. Hi, Logie. You want to say something? No?
No, he just wants to chill.
He just wants to chill in the microphone. Okay. Um, but yeah, so they missed that field goal. It's still 17-13, which is weird.
Mm-hmm.
And the Packers have a chance, and Jordan Love rolls out on the final play of the game. Well, not the final play, but the final play of the Packers game. Rolls out, and rather than throwing the ball away, because he's chased from the pocket, because literally he had to wear Max Crosby like a fucking coat all night. He throws it, heaves it deep downfield for Christian Watson and has it fucking picked off. You know what I think the funniest part about that is? Tom Grossi wore a different jersey for good luck for the Pack cast. He picked the Packers jersey number 21. The guy who picked the ball off for the Raiders, number 21. Good job, Tom. You cursed your team.
Forever cursed. Can't wear that anymore.
And I don't know what to say to Brandon Perna and the fucking Broncos at this point. I'm sorry, dude. Like, I'm a Vikings fan, and I feel your pain, but you thought you were going to be good last year because of Russell Wilson, and then you thought you had a chance this year because of Sean Payton, and I even thought for a minute that you couldn't be worse than last year, and guess what? You're worse than last year.
I don't know if I agree with that, but they're not far off.
I think they're worse. They probably would have won some of these games last year.
No.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad. But yeah, that's where it ends. You obviously beat me this week. I don't think either of us did very well, though. Sir, that's my eyeball.
He does not care.
All right.
I clearly am the secondary character in this podcast right now.
Apparently you are. I'm the tertiary character in that case.
He knows he's adorable and he does not care.
He does know he's adorable. He's probably going to get us all the fans now, too.
What fans?
Burb. Oh, I don't know. Do we have fans?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
We have burb.
We have burb. Should probably put that in as a hashtag this week.
Burb being weird.
Burb being weird. Hashtag funny pets.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm. All right. Hit the showers?
Yeah, I guess so.
Want me to start?
Sure.
Mac Jones, hit the goddamn showers.
Fuck you. That's my nose, dude.
Apparently he wants to eat your boogers.
He sometimes likes to try. Jordan Love, hit the showers.
Fair. That's fair. Dak Prescott, hit the showers.
That's fair. That's fair. Sean Payton, hit the showers.
That's fair, I guess. Especially after you lose to a guy you called the worst head coach in NFL.
Yeah.
Miles Sanders, hit the showers. Learn to hold on to a fucking football.
That's fair. Daniel Jones hit the showers.
Again, fair. Very, very fair. Inferno time?
Yeah, Inferno time.
You want to go first?
Sure, why not? So we'll go with just a lukewarm at tier 1. Just a super warm. Brian Dable. Like, you have the almost the same team as you did last year. What's going on? I just want to know what's going on. I'm just letting you know that that doesn't look very good to have almost the exact same team and yet somehow perform worse. It's just looks weird. I know you're dealing with some injuries, but still, like, it's just looks weird. Doesn't look good. That's all.
My first one is he's starting to cook now. Um, Bill Belichick. Welcome to the fourth circle. Like, you've gotten a lot of rope because of all the championships you won, but you're starting to cook now. Yeah, Robert Kraft isn't going to put up with this kind of bullshit.
Yep.
You're going to find yourself on the outs very quickly.
Yep. Now we're just going straight to 5. Number 5, Bill O'Brien. You know your seat's gonna be hotter than Bill's seat, because guess who's gonna get fired before before your bosses gets fired? You, my guy. Figure out your offense.
I'm going to throw another offensive coordinator into this, and I'm going to throw him one level deeper. I'm going to throw him into 6. You're starting to be on fire now, my dude. Matt Canada. Welcome to level 6.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Figure out and understand that you can pass the football.
I hate to do this because I already put this person in showers, but this is still really bad. Putting him at 8, Sean Payton. Dude, like, you were the most sought after head coach, and you are not looking good. You keep backing up Vance Joseph, which you need to stop doing and just let that fucker go. You need to figure out what's going on with Russ or decide to fucking move on from him, because that shit ain't working. And you need to learn to keep your mouth fucking shut.
Apparently they had to blow up on the sidelines.
They did. And I was going to say, and Peyton, you need to learn to keep your mouth shut in public.
And speaking of Vance Joseph, staying in the 10th circle and not leaving is Vance Joseph. My dude.
You know, there's one person in here that I feel like normally is here that isn't here. It's weird.
Yeah, right?
Just tells you that he's kind of... That just tells you how bad all these other people are being right now.
Like, normally we've got Zach Wilson in here somewhere.
Oh, and we also always have room for Staley in here somewhere, typically, too. But
yeah, usually. But I can't complain about him right now. I can't even find the time to complain about fucking what's his name in Dallas. That fat schlub.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
Yeah, that fat schlub.
Well, the thing is, he does McCarthy. He does well enough. That's the worst part about him, is that he just does well enough.
Yeah, kind of. Anyway, no, Vance Joseph, you're staying in the 10th circle. You are going to burn until somebody fires you. I don't think I'm ever going to yank you out of there.
I'm surprised he's still there.
I am too, to be completely honest. Which is why I'm going to continue calling it out until he's gone. Hot Potatoes Game Balls Week 6?
Sure.
Alright. Hot Potato Takes. I'm going to go first this time. I'm going to start with one that you're not going to eat at all, but I'm going to throw it out there because I think it's funny. Maybe the Jacksonville Jaguars should be the London Jaguars?
I mean, they kind of already are, to be fair. It's almost their home away from home. I know that the NFL wants to do expansions, but I don't think that they'll move a team over there. Hey, little butthole. So I don't think the plan. Like, I know they want to do expansion, but I don't think they're gonna move a team over there. So I don't think so. But I get where you're coming from. But they're already kind of that in a way. So I get it. Maybe Zach Wilson will continue to develop into an actual QB.
I'll eat that. I'll even put some butter on that. I think there's a good chance of that because the more I watch him play, the more I see him with confidence. And I think this time, Rodgers is actually attempting to coach the kid up. And Rodgers is one of the few guys that Wilson would apparently listen to because he idolizes Rodgers.
Hmm.
So Rodgers is actually attempting to make him a better QB from the sidelines. And he's probably working with him and being like, okay, this is what you should see, this is what you shouldn't see. I bet you he's sitting down with him and watching film on the fucking iPads and shit and actually going over stuff and being like, okay, no, look at this and look at that.
Right.
And off, and times off. So I think he's going to continue to develop. And I think he's finally got somebody that he trusts enough to listen to.
Maybe.
Speaking of people that Aaron Rodgers has affected, maybe the Packers screwed up with Jordan Love?
I think they're too early for that because you have to treat Jordan Love almost like he's a rookie. Like, yeah, they drafted him a couple of years ago, but he never got any playing time. So, or very little playing time, I should clarify that. So, I don't know if it's a screw up yet. We still have to kind of wait and feel that out. This is his worst game he's played, but the other games that he's played in have been pretty okay. Like, he hasn't been terrible yet.
I've been more thinking, though, the idea of, like,
I don't think he's
maybe
going to be
you
like
should
their
have
next.
run drafting him by Aaron ahead of time and been like, would you be okay with mentoring this kid? Because I think if you do that, you don't demolish the bridge with Rodgers, and he actually sits down with the kid earlier, and maybe you're not in the situation you're in now.
Maybe, but there's no saying that he would have agreed at the same time.
No, but I still think giving him the
and so
heads
that's
up would
where
have been nice.
and that's where the problem comes in because like
Revisionist history.
yeah, because now we're going into maybe things. You gotta remember that they did this to Brett Favre when they brought in Rodgers. They did the same thing to Favre, and it worked out in their favor. So I can understand why they're like, well, we'll just run it back again and see if we can get another lucky.
Yeah,
break.
but I don't think Jordan Love was ever looked at as Aaron Rodgers.
No, not in the same sense, but they thought they could get away with another similar aspect. For some reason, they saw something with Jordan Love and thought that they could develop him into an Aaron Rodgers type player. I think he's got the physical attributes. I just don't know if he's got the mentality for it, if that makes sense, in a weird way.
Fair enough.
Like, I think he's physically gifted enough to do the Aaron Rodgers things. I just don't know if he can put it together in his head. You know what I'm saying?
Alrighty. What you got?
Maybe Sean Payton should have stayed retired.
I'll eat the shit out of that. Fully load that one. Because everybody's talking about Sean Payton and developing quarterbacks, and I got to thinking about it. Who has he actually developed?
So
he inherited Drew Brees, who was already good.
The argument was that he helped develop Brees more, supposedly, and that he helped develop Taysom Hill.
And what's Taysom Hill done?
A Swiss Army knife. Granted, a good Swiss Army knife, but a Swiss Army knife.
Is he a good quarterback, though?
When he throws the ball, he looks pretty good at it, but he's not a permanent QB, no.
That's the problem.
Like, I don't... Maybe did Sean Payton do anything, was he a coach in college, maybe?
I don't
maybe
know.
He coached
I didn't
some
even
college
look
kids?
at what else he's done, but no. I fully...
As far as NFL is concerned, no. Like, the only person he's really, quote-unquote, mentored would be Drew Brees, and even then, Drew was already... Drew wasn't Drew then, but he was already pretty decent. Yeah, I was going to say, Drew already was pretty decent, so you can't really say he mentored.
Exactly.
Drew. Like, sure, he might have helped with the small stuff.
He does great if you give him a really good quarterback already and allow him to drop some good offensive schemes.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Maybe Bill Belichick just needs to retire.
I mean, you already know where I'm at with that. I think he should have retired last fucking year. He's not a bad coach. He still isn't a bad coach. He's just old enough now that I'm wondering if he really is trying as hard as he used to. One, and two, I feel like he's almost is in defiance trying to push together a win just to say that he didn't win because of Tom Brady now. Now it
I
feels
feel
like
like
he's
that's what's
almost on
going
this,
on too, and I feel like
and
he's
it's falling apart because he's trying to chase after Tom Brady in a way, which is hilarious and a funny,
and
and
I
a
also feel
sick,
like he's
twisted fate, you
like
know?
he's not retiring simply because he doesn't want to retire on a losing season. He wants to prove that
Yeah,
he can win, even if he doesn't win a
exactly.
Super Bowl, that he can have a good winning season without Brady, and then he'll retire.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's
And
I
it
don't know
just,
that he's going to be given that option.
I hate to say it for Bill, it does feel like I. Here's the thing, I don't. I think he can win and do it without Tom. The problem is you don't got the team to do it, and it's going to take too long to build this team to get it to a point where it could be that.
I agree. And here's the other thing. There's another guy I really respect for. Everybody thought he was going to come out of retirement, and he never did. Bill Cowher, the old
Mm,
Steelers
mm.
coach.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, I like everybody thought after he retired he would be gone for a couple of years and then he'd be tempted into taking a job somewhere else, and he never did. He never
right.
took another job anywhere else. He was done. I think he realized that part of him, the game kind of passed him by a little, and I think he knew that, and I think he realized that it's just not going anywhere else. It didn't make sense to him. He was done. He
I was
wanted.
gonna say that's kind of what it feels like's happening to Bill too. Is what I've talked about is how it just feels like he's playing this older school football and just feels like he's not. You could tell for the longest time he was constantly being the innovator or being the guy who was taking on innovations or who was learning from other guys and taking on. But the last like couple years, you can tell it just doesn't feel like he's been taking on innovations. It doesn't feel like he's learning things. It almost feels like he's become the true old man that's I know better than all the youngsters kind of person.
Yeah,
That's
because for a while there, the innovation for him was we're not going to need a number one wide receiver. We're just going to throw the ball to whoever the fuck is open. We're going to have a bunch of guys who know how to
yeah,
catch the ball and run routes. We're not going to
yeah,
have a true number one back. We're going to use a running back by committee, and whoever runs the ball best is going to get the ball. We're
yeah,
going to have a great quarterback, and then I'm going to use some odd defensive schemes to keep everybody off balance.
yeah,
That's what Bill was for the longest time, and that was innovative.
yeah,
Especially in a time when you had guys like Marty Schottenheimer with offenses that just fucking, ran the ball all over the place and did all kinds of weird shit.
yeah.
Offensive guru guys. Uh, During that time, Bill being the defensive-minded coach he was and just having this weird offense that just worked was innovative. And I just think that he's lost that.
Yeah, like I said, it feels like he's chasing a ghost now, and he's kind of lost himself in the sauce, so to speak.
I agree with you. All right, what's your last one for me?
Uh, um, hmm. Ooh, so many options. Just trying to think of a good one because I got a couple like small ones that are like, but I don't. I'm trying to think if there's any good ones that I want. Uh, hmm.
Can we get sued for that?
I don't know. Probably not, since it's not the actual music. It's only your personal horrible rendition of it. Um,
If we ever do start making money at this, we're gonna have to get a legal consultant.
legal consultant, legal schmalktant. Words are hard. You know, the problem is there's a couple good ones that I can think of, but then I can think of great rebuttals to them already. So that it's like I don't want to do those because I know that what I would say in response to them. Um.
I've already got one I'm saving for next week.
Ooh. Hmm. I don't know if that's a hot potato, but that's something I want to discuss. Um.
We can do that after this before we move into the next week's segments.
Um. Hmm. Ooh, gosh, the problem is I just can't think of any like really good ones. And it's very upsetting, and I'm just left with a bunch of mediocre ones that even I'm just like, too.
I feel you. I feel you.
So I guess I'm just gonna throw you an
All
potato
right, throw
at
me
you.
an eh.
Maybe the NFL should stop allowing coaches to also be GMs.
I'm trying to
Because
think
think
of.
about it. Every time a
Well,
coach has been
because
a
I was
GM,
thinking about that.
inevitably
I was thinking about that.
that's
The
too
last
much
one I can
power, right?
remember is Bob.
Yep.
I don't.
But Bill Belichick right now,
Is he a GM?
he's the GM too.
I
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah, he's been the GM for like years.
Well, I didn't fucking know.
But inevitably, it feels like quite often it's too much power for one person. Like
It's
it's
too
the
much.
idea
I
that
think
you,
it's too much job for one person. I don't know that
it's
the
too much.
NFL needs to disallow it,
Yeah.
but I do think that
But I just think having
I
another
think that owners
person,
should stop fucking doing
owners should
that.
stop doing it because like having another voice that has almost equal power. I mean, it's very important to have another person to bounce ideas off of. If it's all one person,
Exactly, exactly. I think
you know.
personally, I feel like if you wanted to have a coach have some role in the GM chair, then you need to have something written where the coach and the GM need to be able to work together, or give
Or make
one
him
the
like
ability to
co-GM or
hire the
something, or
other, give one
yeah,
the ability to, like, before you, if you have a coach that you know you're keeping, like Belichick, before you
yeah,
hire a GM, make sure that the GM and Belichick would be compatible with each other, that they're on the
yeah,
same page mentally about who to pick
exactly,
in drafts and when who to save for free agencies and stuff like that. And then you could have somebody that deals with all of those issues and can even go, "Hey, Bill, this is what I'm thinking," and the other guy could come in and go, "Okay, well, no, because this, and I need him for that," and then he could say, "Okay, well, what about this?"
yeah,
You know,
exactly. I think that would have helped Bill at this point in time because it would have given him another person to kind of bounce thoughts off of in a way where it's not like just his assistant coaches where you can just ignore them and be like, I don't have to listen to you.
now I do think that
I don't
owners
know.
shouldn't be allowed to be GMs.
That I agree with. Yes, that was really bad.
You know, Jerry Jones.
What?
What?
Yeah,
All right.
that's dumb, but yeah,
Yeah, but
that's dumb
anyway,
for a difference.
no, I agree with you on that. I don't think they should. I don't know that the NFL needs to ban it,
Yeah, they might not have to
but
necessarily ban
I
it, but they
do
should
think that it's
discourage
a
it maybe or
bad idea.
something. Yeah,
I think that having a GM and a that is also a coach is just bad. It never seems to go well because per chance again, like you got the DeAndre Hopkins situation. He and
yeah,
O'Brien got into it, and O'Brien gave him away for a song because he got his feelings hurt.
yeah, exactly, which is just dumb.
So
By the way, the one thing that I did want to discuss that I thought about
go ahead.
and that was that I just realized that like every major sport, especially in the playoffs, has multiple game series. Why does the NFL not also do that?
Because
At
football,
least to a certain point, right? Like it doesn't have to be like right away in playoffs, but like I feel like the Super Bowl or the championships shouldn't be just one game. Like I get it, it's a harder game, it's more physically
it is
demanding.
way more physically demanding. You
But
only get like you only get one game a week. So if you look at all these other sports, what do they have that the NFL doesn't?
I mean, besides more games.
That's pretty much what it is. You can play games back to back to back to back to back.
No, I get that. Like I said, I understand that part, but the problem is that we are kind of doing the whole like we're not we're not really truly finding out who's the best because all you're doing is well they got lucky to get there, right?
Doesn't matter.
But if you
Any team
had
can beat any given team. It's not about the best. It's about the best prepared, the team that can get the
I'm just saying,
momentum
like,
on
if
their
the
side.
Super
There's a
Bowl or something like
lot
that
of
was like a
factors.
BO3 or something like that, that would be like it would give other teams maybe that are really good a chance to still show that they're really good. I don't know.
Also, if I remember right, NFL games are generally, for as physical as they are, they're longer.
Yeah, they are typically a little longer too.
So the biggest problem that
Actually, I
you,
think the only one that's longer is baseball, and
yeah,
that's just because like it's 9 innings.
but the biggest problem that you're going to have with that, again, is the amount of excess games that you have at that point. Like,
Yeah.
players are already unhappy with an 18-game season, and the fact is that you just can't go and play a football game Monday and Tuesday. It just, you can't.
That's what I'm saying is I would have preferred them to have done it like as like instead of doing like an 18 game season, done like a 15 game season with a BO3 and in the playoffs or something, or I don't know.
I
And
can
then,
see
yeah,
where
you don't have to play them back to back, but you can play
I
them
see where you're
a couple
coming
days
from, but
apart.
I don't think it's conducive to the way football is played. I think that's the problem. We've already got a lot of injuries, and trying to do something like that, I just don't think physically people's bodies would hold up for something like that.
That's why you have more than one team. It would then benefit. Then it makes more sense to have a good second and third string. I don't
Yeah, but you're only allowed so many players as well.
because like think about it. Because think about that in hockey and soccer, they constantly have players that play the same positions that they constantly swap out when they get tired or
And
hurt. Same thing in basketball.
that is the major difference is that so hockey you only have 5 players on the ice at once. Well,
Yeah.
six when you include the goalie.
Six if you go.
The only guy that plays the entire game is the goalie.
Yeah, and even then, sometimes that's not
Yeah,
always true.
and so like every other sport, people swap in and out. Like basketball, baseball, you don't need it as much, but you can get
But it does
days
happen.
off for rests,
Yeah.
right? It does happen. But in hockey, you're constantly flipping lines in and out. You're flipping more people in and out because there's not as many people on the floor, on the ice at once. That's part of the difference. Same goes
But
for
we
basketball.
have a pretty, but football does have a pretty deep roster. I mean, you have 100+ men that have multiple positions. Like
53.
You see what I'm saying? No, I know, but like 53 by the season, yes. But what I'm saying is that like it's a big roster where you have typically 2 to 3 backups in each position. Typically, not always, but a lot of positions you have like multiple players.
Sometimes.
Or at least players that can play multiple positions.
You have
like
yeah, you have
specifically
like some
offensive line and
offensive.
defensive line is like the only time where it's like you don't necessarily have 2 nose tackles, but you probably have a nose tackle and someone else who can kind of play nose tackle.
Yeah, the problem again though.
That's
is,
the only difference. But I'm saying is that they're typically not the ones that are getting busted as much as some of the guys that are taking big hits all the time, right?
And what I'm trying to say is, if you look at how many guys are on the field at a time for football, that's the other big difference. The only sport that comes close is baseball, which is you're not running into and hitting each other. So
yeah, so I'm saying that you still have big enough benches in football where you could potentially be swapping in and out of players when people are getting just gassed, which is what they already do, actually. In fact,
yeah, but you would need to swap them in a lot. You would
And-
need to swap
and
in and
it-
out a lot more. Like you'd need to have.
and if it's really that big of a problem for football, just increase the roster.
That would be the biggest problem because then each team would have to carry more people. The salary cap, each piece of the pie goes down.
Yeah, make the cap bigger. That's all stuff they could do.
They could. They're not going to at all because
I
the
think it would
owners
make more sense, but
the owners have no interest in that. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I just
None.
think it'd make playoffs more interesting because rather than it being like a puncher's chance, you get a true like this is the best of the best kind of thing.
I don't think it would make it interesting enough because, and I'll say this is just me coming from another viewpoint, is where does it
Three
stop
Super
then?
Bowls? You kidding me?
Where does it matter then? Where does it stop?
BO3, a lot of people say is just as good as enough for anything else.
Where does it stop?
No reason to do a BO5.
BO3, oh, well, they could have won them in 5.
Yeah,
They
but
could
then
have
in
won
other
it in
sports, you
7.
could do that with other sports too. You could be
You
like, oh,
can,
BO7,
and at some
and they
point,
don't.
and at some
They
point in
stop
time, you
too.
just
Like
have to
there's a
stay.
point
At some point in
that
time, you
most
just have to say this is good enough.
typically BO3 is good enough for a lot. Listen, there's a reason why a lot of sports, pretty much every sport, at their grand final has a minimum of a BO3.
Except
There's a reason
2.
why. There's a reason why though.
Except 2.
But there's a reason why that's considered as a good standard to go off of, because a lot of people recognize that one game luck is a real thing.
Again, except 2 sports.
Yeah, and they have
Both
only
of them
done
are
that
named
because
football.
yes, and they well, I don't know about that one, Chief. I don't know
They
if that's
are.
two different.
Football and football.
But the World Series has what?
Football. The World
Yeah,
Cup.
but it's the World Cup is
Once you get past the group stage, it's one game and you're out.
yeah, but that's not necessarily really. So like they have multiple. Soccer is a little different because it has so many different leagues, and some leagues play differently. So the World Cup, yes, is one game, but then there are others where it's multiple game series. So it just depends. It's
Yeah, but if
because
you
there's
think about the
multiple
leagues
there's
that
multiple
most,
different there's multiple big trophies besides just the World Cup. In
I
that
know,
one.
I know.
So
But
like
if you think about the ones that most people would know, like the Premier League and stuff
the
like
Premier
that.
League isn't the I thought the Premier was 3.
I think the
I
Premier
could be
is still
wrong.
just 1.
Is it just one on the
I
Premier?
believe so.
But
I could be wrong.
they have
I don't
they're a
follow
little
enough
weird
soccer.
in the. Yeah, they're a little different because they have such an open circuit, so it's a little different. It's the
I
same thing with
agree with
tennis.
that,
Like
but-
tennis does multiple, but sometimes, depending on how many sets they play is always different depending on the tournaments you go to.
Yeah, I know.
Same thing
Tennis
with golf.
is really weird. But tennis is, again, that's a one-on-one. That's not even a team sport.
It can be 2-on-2, but yes, I know. what
Yeah,
you're
they
saying.
have doubles. I will say that there
Yeah.
is doubles, but most people don't pay attention to
And
doubles.
then golf. A lot of people say golf is also a single, but you still have your caddy, and sometimes you are playing team golf, and
There is
are-
team golf, and it's 18
Yeah.
holes, but after the 18 holes, that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
You
But
could-
then sometimes there's actually series, so sometimes it's like multiple days. So like
Yeah.
in golf, sometimes you
Oh,
play
yeah,
the
yeah.
18 holes 3 days in a row.
3
Like-
days in a row, and whoever has the best under at that point is the winner.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I 100% get where you're coming from.
So
but
I just think that there's a world in where football could do that, and I think that it would make it more entertaining. Especially because think about it, you could think about it for the teams. If you could somehow market it and do 3 Super Bowls,
it wouldn't.
Like, that'd be
no,
crazy.
that would be dumb. And here's why. What is
split it up.
Hold on. What is the big selling point currently of the Super Bowl?
it's a Super Bowl.
It's one game.
That's not necessarily its selling point.
That is its selling point.
The selling point is that it's a
the most
championship
watched-
game.
It's the most watched. In fact, it probably is the most watched sporting event in
For
America.
several reasons. It's because a lot of people also watch for the fucking commercials. Like
Exactly.
Or the
Do you-
halftime show.
Do you think that
the halftime show is huge.
Hold on. Do you think that the commercials or halftime show would be nearly as good if they had to spread it out over 3 games?
I think it. Hold on. So that's where the difference is, right? So the difference is, I think you'd have to split up how you do it, because it would be, instead of the Super Bowl, it'd be the Super Series or Super Bowl series, right? And then you'd have halftime being like pretty much in between. You could make the halftime show as long as you want, pretty much, because it could be in between games even now at this point if you wanted to. So you could separate it so people could then basically not have to watch the fucking games if they don't want to,
Yeah,
or
but
watch
that would
the
hurt
fucking
the
halftime.
Overall, so then the ads wouldn't want to be
You
there.
still have commercials. No, the commercials are still gonna be there because you still have
Why?
the commercials for the games.
Why? If
Because
I'm-
it's still a big series. The big series is
But
still the
nobody's
big
watching.
series. But people are still watching.
But you
still
just
have
said
people
people
who
don't
are-
have to watch.
No, So the people who want to watch only the halftime shows or the halftime segment, whatever it would be, could watch that.
They're
Which then
already
the ads,
doing that.
the ads are going to want to be in that, and then the ads are also going to want to be in the games. So you just
They're
make them more.
They're already.
You make the
only doing
advertisers
that.
more money. I'm saying you can make more. You can make more.
As an advertiser.
Advertisers
Hold on.
would make more. I'm
Coming
promising
at it
you the
from
teams
an
would make more.
advertisement looking, why would I want to pay more for a triple game? Because
No,
there's
see
going
what
to be
you-
less people
you're
are
not-
going to be interested, because you can't even guarantee me 3 games. You can only guarantee
I
me
can't guarantee you 3
two.
games, but I can guarantee you I can guarantee you 2 and a halftime show. A halftime show that could be its own full hour long thing or 2 hours long thing. So you have ads that can target half times, and you can have ads that target the games. Heck, you could have them cross over if you want. It gives you a lot of opportunities for different
I
advertisers.
just don't think it makes any sense at all.
Because then you can have sports advertisers, and you can have a lot of pop advertisers, but you don't have to have them mix and match if you want to. You can push them all together.
I don't know.
I think
Maybe
you're wrong.
maybe it's just because I'm an old fuddy-duddy stick in
I
the
think
mud.
you're just an old fuddy-duddy.
I'll be quite frank. It could very well be that, and I'm not going to lie about that. I'm stuck in the way that I feel about it. And I just don't like that. There's something about it that feels wrong.
You don't like it because it's change, and you don't like change.
It has nothing to do with it being changed. Like,
it's change.
You noticed that I was okay with changing some of the hockey stuff. I'm okay with what they did with baseball stuff.
See, but my point is that this is too much of a change. You don't like it. This is too much of a change.
This is a very large change, and I'm not.
This is a change, and you don't like
it. Too much.
See, and I disagree. I disagree.
All right. Speaking of which, let's move along then. Let's do game balls.
Let me see here.
I've got several. So if you take one of mine, don't worry about it. I've got another one.
No, yeah, I'm just trying to think of who I want to pick because there's some good players. There's some good choices. There are some choices that there's a lot of it's just a lot of choices.
Mm-hmm.
For players that played pretty well.
Because there are a lot of players that played very well.
I don't know if there's any. I'm trying to think if there's any that I want to give balls to. I think here. And that's what I'm trying to think is just ones that I want to even like recognize. I'll give one to Joe Burrow just as a redemption. Like, you had a good game back. Hopefully you keep it up.
I'll give one to Jamar Chase.
15,
192, and 3. I'll do that.
Fair enough. That's fair. That's fair. Why not? I'll give one to Breece Hall, too. Breece Hall had a pretty good running game.
Yeah, that's a good
He
one.
Played well.
I'll give one to DJ Moore.
That's fair.
8, 230, and 3. Yes.
Makes sense. I'll stick back to another wide receiver that I hit quite often. We'll give one to Ridley. Calvin Ridley.
All right.
Always giving one to him.
Not bad. I'll give my last one out to Jalen Hurts.
That's fair.
I thought about, like, if you had taken one of mine, Kittle was going to be another one of mine. 3 catches, 3 touchdowns. Yeah. Also, Achon. Again. Would have been fantastic. All right. You ready to pick our stuff for this coming week?
Oh God, I guess I'd not really, but
all right. There are some that I have pre-selected for Chris. He's not required to take them, but I will let you know which ones they are and let you know if I'm right because I think that'll be just as much fun. Broncos at Chiefs, and I have pre-selected you for the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, it's definitely Chiefs.
Yeah, I did too. The ones that are pre-selected are both of us, and I was like, yeah.
That one's pretty obvious, yeah.
All right. That's the Thursday game. Going on to the early Sunday games. Vikings at Bears.
I'm taking Vikings there.
You know what?
I think the Bears are shitty enough,
I'm going to take the Bears because they've started to look a lot better. They're starting to find something. They're finding their groove.
The Broncos, man. It was the Broncos. Let's not...
No, it wasn't the Broncos. It was the Commanders.
Oh, yeah, but they
looked good against the Broncos, too. 2 weeks in a row, they've looked decent. They're starting to find themselves. DJ Moore's getting involved. Fields is feeling himself. The Vikings are just shitty enough, and they don't have JJ.
Yeah. It's the Bears. I don't have any faith in the Bears. It's the Bears.
I agree with you, but I
have less faith in the Bears.
I'm doing it because I have zero faith in the Vikings right now.
I have negative faith in the Bears.
Ravens at Titans.
Probably Ravens.
I agree with that. I almost went with the Titans because the Titans play very well on even weeks, but so do the Ravens. And I think the Ravens would have won last week if their receivers hadn't dropped everything that was thrown to them.
Yeah.
Commanders at Falcons.
Probably Falcons.
I agree with that one. Now for the one where I think we're probably going to disagree again. Seahawks at Bengals.
Bengals.
I'll pick the Seahawks. I'm still not 100% sure that it wasn't just Arizona.
It's possible.
Now for a fun one. Colts at Jaguars.
Only because they're missing Richardson, I'm going to go Colts. Or sorry, Jaguars. Sorry, Jaguars.
Jaguars?
Yeah, I think Gardner Minshew's good enough that he can still win that game, but I think they'll be missing out just a little bit on that magic.
I think the Jaguars look a lot better after their games in London. I think they're going to win that one.
Yeah.
All right, Panthers at Dolphins. I have pre-selected Dolphins for you.
Yep.
And I agree with you. 49ers at Browns. I have pre-selected the Niners for you.
Yep.
And I agree with you. Saints at Texans.
Texans.
You know what? I'm going to grab the Saints.
I thought about this for a while because I saw that game and that's going to be a close game, but I really think the Texans are slowly getting better and better.
I'm not saying they're not, but so the Saints,
No, yeah.
The thing
normally I would have.
The key piece here is Tank Dell is out with concussion protocol.
Could still come back. We don't know yet.
I'm pretty sure he's not. But the Saints are really good at clamping down on the pass, and they're really good at sacking the quarterback. And Texas is a very pass-heavy offense. If they can slow down the pass, they got a chance to win that.
We'll see.
We'll see. A stinker game. Patriots at Raiders.
Raiders?
I agree.
Guess?
I don't
like it.
I don't like it either, and I don't know how that's going to look.
No, because the Patriots could actually still win that.
They could.
Yeah, honestly could.
Lions at Bucks, and I pre-selected the Lions for you. Cardinals at Rams. I have pre-selected the Rams for you. And I agree. Eagles at Jets. I have pre-selected the Eagles for you, and I agree. Giants at Bills. I have pre-selected the Bills for you, and I agree. And now for the last one. Cowboys at Chargers.
I'll go with the Chargers.
I will agree. Not saying the Cowboys can't win that game.
No, they could actually win that game, but...
Because the Chargers could totally jinx themselves and Staley could fuck
They could still charger it up, because that's what they do.
They could still charge that up. But...
That's what they do.
But there's a good chance that they don't, and the Cowboys are coming off that stomping from the Niners. Yeah. I don't know if... The problem that I have is I don't know if Dallas is frauds or if they're good. I don't know if the Niners are just that good or Dallas has just feasted on weak opponents. And I don't know if the Chargers are a weak opponent or a good opponent. But
I know, right?
From what I saw, Dallas can't defend the pass. The Chargers and Herbert like to throw the ball. And Kellen Moore is their offensive coordinator. And I think he's going to have it out for Dallas.
Probably.
So, I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. I think Keenan Allen is going to just absolutely obliterate their secondary. We might see the emergence of Quentin finally.
Maybe.
We could hope.
Doesn't seem like he gets a lot of receptions. Doesn't get a lot of targets.
But
even.
Of course we know that their other receiver be fucking gone for the year. So.
I know. I thought for sure we would see him, but.
We'll see how they want to bring him in there.
Yep.
I don't know what we're gonna see. I will tell you that the Chargers defense is really good, and they're gonna harry Dak.
Oh yeah.
So.
I agree with that.
Yep. Anyway, I think it's gonna be a fun, weird week to watch some football. We'll have to see how we do this week. Of course, I got stomped last week. We will see how this week turns out. I will get this out as soon as I possibly can for everybody. I don't know when I'm going to get it out. I do have things that I have to do the next several days, but I will get it out as quick as I possibly can. I will hopefully have it out no later than Friday or Saturday. And once that happens, we will, it'll be up there for you guys to look at. We were going to record yesterday, and things just eventuated that we could not. We will try to record next Tuesday after all the games have happened again, unless something changes.
We'll see what happens then.
Yep. All right, guys. We hope that you've had a good time watching this. We had a fun time making it, I think. And
Sorta, kind of, sometimes.
Mostly, kind of. We'll have to see how we go this week. And we will catch all of you next week right here on Yet Another Sports Podcast. Please, if you're coming across this for the first time, give us a like, give us a subscribe. I don't know if you guys bothered to watch or listen to this whole thing. Frankly, I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. I know at least one person listens to us to fall asleep, so apparently we're boring. Or we have soothing voices. I'm not sure which it is.
I mean, I guess it could potentially be both, but I doubt that.
I can have a soothing voice.
Okay. That sounds like a creeper.
That's a creepy voice. Alright, guys. We'll catch you all next week. Until then, we tell you all, have fun, be awesome, stay bearded, and